Praise God. Yeah. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Get Michael. Praise God.
Thank you, Father.
Good, thank you. Always got to have a good woman get you on the right path.
Exactly right, brother.
Yeah, God. Bless you, God. I never man.
And I know right now, Mr. Jerry's probably thinking, Lord, why did you let me forget to leave my Bible on that desk this morning? You never know who's in your house going to pick it up, huh?
Thank God.
Yes, sir.
I got one of them too.
So about a week ago when Kelly come to me and told me this was coming up, and told me she wanted me to speak. I call him Mr. Jerry, if y'all haven't figured that out by now. Don't know why, just always have. So I got to thinking about it. And I remember some of the things I said last year when I spoke. I got thinking, I said, I'm not going to get up here and repeat the obvious. We all know Mr. Jerry's a good man in his role as a preacher here.
Yes, sir.
Right. He goes out, he visits with the sick, he visits with the elderly, he prays for them. If it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you need to start a prayer chain. Guess what? Call Mr. Jerry, because he's going to answer that phone just like that. If you need him at the hospital, he's there.
Yep.
He's everywhere he needs to be when somebody needs him.
That's right.
That's right.
Never let me down. I don't think he's ever let anybody down here. He does his very best.
That's right.
So I got thinking about that, and I said, well, we'll take a little different approach to this. I know sometimes I don't get in the Bible as much as I should, but I thought, let's talk about what a preacher should be. What does the Bible tell us that a preacher, that a minister should be? Now, my vocabulary is not great. I'm not a preacher. Y'all know that. I'm not going to pretend to be one. But I can read. And that's all we need to do. Because guess what? If you read this book,
Come on, brother.
it's never wrong.
Never.
Never has been,
Ain't no
never will be
That's
wrong.
right.
So all you got to do is read it, and it puts you where you need to be every time. I promise you.
Well,
Yes, sir.
So
Bless you, Lord.
let's look a little bit into this. So I got to looking around, and I said, well, where do I go? Then I got thinking back what my daddy would tell me. If you don't know or you don't understand, pray about it.
pray about it.
Leave it. Don't worry about it. Pray about it and leave it. And then the Lord will put it on you
Yes, sir.
where you need to go or what you need to hear. So that's exactly what I did. I prayed about it for a couple of days. Certainly didn't want to let Kelly down. Certainly don't want to let Mr. Jerry down. So I just prayed about it and I left it. And then it came to me. The Lord laid it on me.
Yes, sir.
And I think after I read some of this, I think we'll have a little greater appreciation than what we already have from Mr. Jerry.
Right. Come on.
So we'll start out just real quick. Not going. Kelly told me not to get on too much of a tear here.
Oh, you go ahead, brother.
Y'all will miss the chicken if he does.
So let's first look at some qualifications. What does the Bible tell us that a preacher must be? So this is where the Lord took me. He took me to Titus, where even for my limited vocabulary and my knowledge, Paul's speaking to Titus, and he puts it in really plain language of the qualifications of a minister, pastor, preacher, teacher, I like to call him. So I'm going to go to the first chapter in Titus, and I'm going to start at verse 5 and run through verse 9. For this cause left I thee in Crete, that thou shouldest set in order the things that are wanting, and ordain elders in every city, as I had appointed thee. If any be blameless, the husband of one wife, having faithful children, not accused of riot or unruly. For a bishop must be blameless, as the steward of God, not self-willed, not soon angry, not given to wine, no striker. Here's where my limited vocabulary comes in. but I do understand the meaning of this last word. Not given to filthy money is what it translates into. But a lover of hospitality, a lover of good men, sober, just, holy, temperate, holding fast the faithful word as he has been taught, that he may be able by sound doctrine both to exhort and to convince the gainsayers.
Yep.
That's pretty plain. I think that's some of the plainest stuff that you'll look at in the Bible. Like I said, once again, we're talking about at my level. So with that being said, and this is where I have to be careful, I'll get on my little speeches here. But you look at the pastors in some of these churches out here today, some of these mega churches and stuff, and everybody's like, oh, don't start stepping on toes. Well, you know what? I think we can. This right here tells us we can step on some toes.
Right.
Better know it, brother.
Because when all this contemporary stuff, or however they want to call it, this modern day stuff, and the way these guys behave, and they say it's okay for a pastor to behave that way, I say no, it's not. Not according to this Bible, not according to my Bible, not according to my pastor.
That's right.
Amen.
My God.
My pastor follows the Bible.
Right.
He does.
He's right.
Right.
Bless you, Father.
So let's jump over to James.
Amen.
Let's go over to James 3:1. Y'all, like I say, forgive me now. Y'all just deal with me a little bit here.
Good, brother. Don't worry about it.
My brethren, be not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation. So once again, I have to break some of this stuff down for my mind. So I got into some of my commentaries and got into some of my Bible dictionaries and looked at a bunch of stuff on this. Looked at a bunch of translations. This is what it comes down to. Mr. Jerry is going to be held accountable for what he stands up here and what he teaches everybody, what he preaches to us.
Go ahead, Rick.
He's going to be held accountable for that.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
I don't know about you guys. That's a lot of pressure on a man's shoulders.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's why God called him to do what he does.
Amen.
Because he knows he can handle the pressure. He gave him the ability to handle the pressure.
That's right.
And that's why he put him up here in front of us.
Amen.
That's the way I look at all that, and that's the way I interpret that.
That's exactly right.
Amen.
There's more scriptures that I found. A lot more I could go into. But I think you get the gist of what I'm trying to say.
Amen, brother.
He's not here just because he said, oh, I'm just going to hop up there and start preaching to these people. No.
Amen.
The Lord put him up here.
Amen.
Knowing. I know Mr. Jerry knows this Bible better than I know it.
Right.
He's in it all the time. So knowing all these things, he still accepts this position. And in my mind and in my eyes, he does the greatest job he can do with it, and he follows this Bible. He follows it to the letter.
Amen.
And for that, I think it should give us a greater appreciation for what our pastor lives and tries to exemplify to us.
Amen.
And with that being said, you Sunday school teachers, Rodney is the assistant that has to step up and fill these shoes sometimes. Robert, Kim, when you take on these positions, Brother Mike, when you're in here teaching Sunday school, Steve, you're in that same spot. You're in that same spot, and that's pressure to follow this, to be that good example. And we should all show appreciation to the pastor and all the teachers in this church.
Amen.
Thank y'all.
Amen.
Praise God. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus.